Hold it right there, orc scum! No one slips past the Legion unchallenged.
Calm down, Junius. Doesn't look like one of them orcs to me. Not a single horn in sight, you know.
Just hold your tongue, will you, Bibius? Can't be too careful. We are sworn to protect Cyseal.
So, you're sorcerers, are you? And how are we supposed to verify that's true? We can't read, my friend. So for all we know, those papers say you're a polymorph parrot on the lookout for a two-bedroom birdcage. They don't prove a thing.
You know what? We'll take you two to the wizard. I know he reads. He has books large as a house, that one. Yeah, he'll squeeze the truth out of you, one way or another.
Agreed. A wizard is bound to know more about what is going on around here.
Capital, come along. We're not far from the city. Lovely day for a swig and a song, isn't it?
We're legionnaires, of course. On the lookout for orcs, for they've been attacking from the sea. God knows why they do it, but we stand firm. We of the Legion, liberators of Riverlon.
Liberators of liquor too, aren't we, old chum?
Shh! Just pipe down, will you, Bibius?
Ever kept the watch? Stood on the lookout for hours on end, bored stiff. Boredom's a demon, buddy, and booze is the demon hunter. There. I do declare it's time for this hunter to take another shot. Huzzah!
Aye, a noble word for watchdog, that. For that is what we do. Watch over the local dogs that ever so often aim for one another's throat, and separate them to keep the peace. Separate by the sword, that is.
Best way to calm a wily dog is to neuter it. Ha! Spay for pay, Legion's motto.
Just put a sock in it, will you, Bibius?
Fare thee well. What the hell is happening down there? Orcs? Bloody orcs! Come, let's go back to the bridge where the source hunters had their big roots.
For the Legion! Drive them back! Charge! Kill the unbelievers!
its own deliverance. Into the fray once more. Did you see that? Those orcs had a human command.
That joker leading
How
those
very
boys?
curious.
Damn traitor.
And how very
Where are Bibius and
disquieting.
Junius? Didn't they hear the
An
fight?
invigorating fight that was. And what a killing blow you delivered.
Taken before his time, far before his time.
Taken before his
Oh, there, I wouldn't go that far. Especially not standing in the blast radius of your soon-to-burst vanity bubble.
One day
I
coming.
like you much better with your
Vengeance
guts on the
will be
floor.
ours.
Back on my feet again!
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel. Ah, but I see we've suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease with which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. Source hunters have arrived in Cyseal. You're as welcome as a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I'm Ahu, at your service. It was I who requested your presence in this troubled city.
Avert your gaze, and I'll handle this threat for all our sakes.
She wouldn't hurt a fly, and I won't let you pack a horn on her head.
Bringing your little orcish girlfriend here is like bringing a wolf to a hen house.
Nonsense. Listen. It's fine. The
What fool would trust a two-bit love potion out of a back-page circular from youthful gore? An orc in love. Ha! When this little Saturn faints, she'll liberate the flesh from our faces.
Come now, enough doom and gloom. Cast the doom upon my doom.
So you were, and so you weren't. Behold, there we are. Meet my other half, Hunter. Ha ha! No need to look so flabbergasted. I may be a wizard rife with tricks and guile, but I assure you my plea is an earnest one. So, now that the cat is out of the bag, let us turn to the matter of Councillor Jake's murder. It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel in my very whiskers that sorcery was at play. Visit the scene of the crime, and I'd bet sardines for salad you'll say the same. Captain Aureus, though, the local commander of the Legion, insists I'm seeing ghosts. I insist he's blind to all but the undead. Jake was murdered in a downstairs room of the King Crab Inn, up in Cyseal proper. The Legion keeps it under lock and key, though, so you'll need Aureus's permission should you want to have a peek. So there are, or rather, there is. Popular opinion has it his wife did the deed, but to be frank, I have my doubts. She seems a likely candidate, to be sure, but that would make her a sorceress. Esmeralda knows how to charm, yes, but I just don't see her magic extend beyond a frolicsome look and wink. Still, don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth your while to cross-examine her yourself. The Legion has her under guard in her shop near the town square. That's where you'll find poor Jake's widow. A human, you say? Truly? But that would be like a kitten leading a wolf pack. And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts, a shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers, but people will say that about anyone who behaves a bit strangely nowadays. I don't quite know what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. It'd be foolish to dismiss such a curious event out of hand. Ah, the undead. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now. And for 2 years the stalemate between them and the living has been dragging on at a weary pace indeed. The Legion did a good job keeping them at bay, but I think it's fair to say that without my magic-infused ballistae, they'd have gotten the better of us by now. Someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, that searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's mane. Unfortunately, that is absolutely correct. The orc siege is yet another hairball stuck in this city's already choking throat, and it shows no signs of abating. We've cordoned off the western beach where most orc activity has been reported. For the 9 lives of me, I can't seem to figure what they're doing here. There's nothing of interest along the waterfront, except for a set of caves with an unfavorable reputation. Maybe they're after some pirate's treasure, the fools. Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Or does it surprise you that I enjoy taking a feline guise? Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct. Even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness. You couldn't possibly imagine the thrill. But of course it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs. This I freely admit. Let's just say I have found a way to enjoy the best of two worlds. I'm glad we've met, Source Hunter, and I'm certain we have a lot more to talk about. Feel free to visit me whenever you want. I've set up a workshop in the Legion's headquarters. Once you're there, just take the stairs, but do pay a visit to Aureus first. He may bark like a beagle with its tail stuck in the door, but you won't get very far in your investigation without speaking to the de facto leader of Cyseal. And with that, I bid you adieu, Hunter. Adieu and good luck. May your enemies prove to be mere mice, and you the dauntless mouser.
Sects, undead, orcs. Looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go see that Aureus chap Argo mentioned?
What fool would trust a two-bit love potion out of a back page circular from youthful gore?
I like you much better with your guts on the floor.
An orc in love. Ha! When this little Satan fades, she'll liberate the flesh from our faces.
Come now, enough doom and gloom.
Avert your gaze, and I'll handle this threat for all our
Taken before his time, far before his time.
Bringing your little orcish girlfriend here is like bringing a wolf to a hen house.
Nonsense. Listen. She's purring.
What fool would trust a two-bit love potion out of a back page circular from youthful gore? An orc in love,
far before his
when
time.
this little Satan fades, she'll liberate the flesh from our faces.
Come now. Enough doom and gloom. Cast the doom upon my sailors and swim.
Avert your gaze, and I'll handle this threat for all our sakes.
You wouldn't hurt a fly, and I won't let you touch a horn on her head.
Bringing your little orcish girlfriend here is like bringing a wolf to a hen house.
Nonsense. Listen.
What fool would trust a two-bit love potion out of a back page circular from youthful
One
gore?
day, Moira. One day you'll show 'em all.
I like you much better with your guts
An
on the
orc
floor.
in love. Ha! When this little Satan fades, she'll liberate the flesh from our faces.
Come now. Enough doom and gloom. Cast the doom and gloom upon my sailors and swim.
Avert your gaze, and I'll handle this threat for all our sakes.
You wouldn't hurt a fly, and I won't let you touch a horn on her head.
Bringing your little orcish girlfriend here is like
Taken
bringing a
before
wolf
his
to a
time,
hen
far
house.
before his time.
Nonsense. Listen. She's purring.
What fool would trust a two-bit lock fishing out of a back?
Damn those orcs for bringing fire into our harbour, and damn you for not lifting a finger to help extinguish it. She was targeted by the orc shaman during the attack, and now she's left to the ocean's cold embrace. We just couldn't get ahead of the flames with nothing but a few men and some buckets.
Another ship sent to an early grave in the harbours of Cyseal. A terrible sight, that.
Cyseal, Cyseal, shiver me timbers and sliver me heels.
When I saw a source under in the harbour, I thought for sure the ship would be saved. Mea culpa for putting faith in your kind.
Charm loves him. I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature. Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the
Our home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes, while we could do naught but look on. Well, we were merchants what seems like a moment ago. With our ship sunk, we're little more than free men with nothing more to say than boo. These bleeding orcs, I can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here, slinging fireballs and swinging swords. Wasn't a thing we could do to defend ourselves. With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe you could keep an eye out, though.
Passing a long note to the Lizard Council's wife. Is that why we never sailed with you before?
I can't even smell the sea air over this rot.
Mate, he says, we are colleagues, nothing.
Steady, boys, steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're back up.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks. Slimy, reeking, rotting.
Let's see. Key, lockpick, or...
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear! I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose steal. Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Cyseal began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
I'm sure this one little fish won't starve the merchant. He should take the fish.
This batch is only hours from the sea.
Whether the merchant loses a fish or this man goes hungry, someone will suffer in this equation. We might as well help the man in the most dire need.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens.
All right, we'll do it your way.
That's the spirit! Or should I say, the soul?
Sir, did you just steal that fish?
No, I paid for it. The merchant just left, but I paid. I paid before.
You were a witness to this event now? Tell me what happened.
Nonsense! Why, he's the very picture of honesty and should be set free immediately. You'll be sleeping with the fishes if you don't back down.
I'm straight. I'm true. Harry's by the cousins.
Very well, have it your way.
I can't thank you enough for your, discretion. I'll be going now.
Well, sorry to have bothered you then, sir. Carry on.
That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until his growling belly seduces him back onto the crooked path. I can understand your sympathy for that man, but feeding him for one day will hardly remedy his circumstances. You would have done better to help him more substantially than by covering up a single petty theft.
Fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Not the mood for cheese. That excuse is more home.
Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Tomatoes. Watch the undead quiver in their moldy boots.
Well, hello there.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
A good day to you.
Made a big cheese on your book with a wheel of the good stuff. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Mood for cheese. Their excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Corbin bag. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine?
Well, hello there.
Delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
I'm straight. I'm true. There is by the dozen.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Pay the big cheese on your block for the wheel of the good stuff.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Well, what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing? Silver? Poison? Get to the point.
Pay the big cheese on your block for the wheel of the good stuff.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Watch the undead quiver in their noble boots.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
You there! A moment of your indulgence, if you please. You are the source hunter, are you not? The hero the whole of Cyseal is abuzz about. The talk of the town. The juiciest grape on the grapevine. Such a pleasure to meet you. A delight. No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. It is an intervention of fate. Yes, that's it. Fate has put me on this very spot so I may tell you all about a most intriguing opportunity indeed. Mendius, at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be, and that is a man of medicine. But what does a man of medicine do but mend what has first been broken? I saved lives, to be sure, but today I change them. Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become better. To become the full extent of the promise that is locked inside of each and every one of us. So first of all, let me ask you this question. Do you like adventure?
Agreed. Adventuring implies frivolity. Duty does not.
You may tell yourself you dislike adventure, but the mud on your boots and the blood on your blades say otherwise. One wouldn't become a source hunter if one didn't relish the exhilaration of battle, the lust for hidden knowledge and secrets. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The wage of a mere soldier. Now, between you and me, tell me truthfully, don't you sometimes wish you could earn more?
Nor me. Wealth is but vanity.
Oh, but I know you're just being bashful. I bet that in your heart of hearts, your eyes water with joy when you discover yet another treasure during your travels. Even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety, without spice? To be a source hunter must get frightfully dreary sometimes. Am I right? All those orders. Investigate this, retrieve that, and at the end of the day, what do you have to show for it? Wouldn't you prefer to call your own shots? Be your own boss?
True enough. We serve a just cause, so why wouldn't we follow our orders?
Come now. I refuse to believe such a uniquely skilled individual would settle for a puppet's role. Life's too short to spend it doing someone else's bidding. Am I right? Of course I am. And I could help you attain the dream. Enact the change you deserve. And that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab, so that I could meet you and tell you about the marvel that is the Fabulous Five. The invitation to join is yours. Grab it. Ah, the Fabulous Five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious and celebrated adventurers' guild in Riverlon. Our mission, to better the world. Our mantra, to better ourselves as we do so. To realize our dreams and cleanse our souls. You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course, if you still have questions, I shall answer them to the best of my abilities. But if not, how about we get started? What a gem of a question. Straight as an arrow, sharp as a switchblade. Most meritorious of you. Now then, to join the Fabulous Five is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity, a sorority, a community. The title of Knight is bestowed upon you the moment you sign our waiver, and so it all begins. I shall be the one to give you your first contracts, and once the job is done, I shall see to it you get your fair share of the reward. Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous Five and thereby draw new knights into our fellowship, you will get a share of the reward from their contracts too. Isn't that wonderful? By now, the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. It has, hasn't it? But did I say fellowship? I mean family. For like a family, we support one another, cheer one another, see each other through thick and thin, partake in glory and defeat. Work hard, fulfill contracts, enlist new knights, and swiftly shall you rise through the ranks. You will better yourself. You will better Riverlon. You will make the stars shine all the brighter, and you'll get fabulously wealthy in the process. What's not to like? Of course, of course, of course. All you need to do is sign this waiver, and just like that, snap, you're part of the family. All I need is your lovely little autograph. What do you say?
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Agreed. You came on a little bit too strongly there, buddy.
Oh, how frightfully disappointing. How illogical and short-sighted of you. To deny the Fabulous Five. It is a crime against reason and humanity. Opportunity knocks, and you close the blinds. Now, Lackey's life is yours, and by choice, too. So long. Fare thee well, though you won't.
I need a moment to reflect.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse is more hosed than a slice of this fine Corbin bag.
Those as giving as you are rare and exquisite as rubies. What a pleasure to behold you.
I doubt you could even fathom, old friend.
What have we here? A source hunter, is it? Well, my day just became rather more stimulating. Oh, stand still then, if you don't mind. I want to take a good long look at the so-called savior of Cyseal. Tall as an elf, strong as an orc, but your face, quite classical, isn't it? Statuesque, some might say. Yes, smooth and sturdy as marble, yet fine as a chisel's edge. And my word, what passion burns from your eyes. Please forgive my being forward, but I dare say, can it be? You're exactly the person I've been searching for. I am Anna, jewel in the crown that is the fabulous 5. I've cut 1,000 throats, and baked 1,000 bread rolls, stolen the crown jewels of the Queen of Errata, and, with my pockets full, helped her reach enlightenment. When the day comes that I die, the gods will evacuate the heavens to make space for my formidable collection of designer slippers. I contain multitudes, you see, and I am utterly replete. Except that, much to my dismay, I had as yet to find the companion to whom my heart so clearly calls. But then, Source Hunter, you wandered into this tavern, and I am most certain that that companion is you. That I have. For nearly a lifetime, it seems. Well, I'm sure you must know what I mean. Like existence itself lacked a significant component. Like if you could only fill a certain void, could connect with the right body, the right spirit. Together you could uncover new and thrilling vistas. I believe I have found that component, that body, that spirit within you, Source Hunter. Come, if ever we are to be united, we must truly entwine our fates. We must link our causes forevermore. Yes, you must join the Fabulous 5 right away, as soon as time permits. Together, as a team, we'll explore the boundless realm before us. We'll uncover fate, inch by inch. Already refused to join? But, darling, didn't you... how can we... refused? Oh, a plague on both our houses. For now we may never link our destinies. Away from me now, oh perfect specimen. Torment me no further. But if you happen to meet more able-bodied, agile-minded adventurers, don't hesitate to, send them my way. A woman can only mourn for so long. My only one.
Demon, back or I'll... Well, what's this? Oh, Medora, you lummox. 1,000 pardons, comrade. This old bear's edgier than a dodecahedron these days. I'll tell you, it sure does me good to set eyes on another of our order. From Academy West, aren't you? Give Captain Wartruce my regards next time you see him. You wouldn't. I trained up in Academy North, after all. We don't cross paths with you Westies all that often, but it's always a pleasure when we do. Medora's the name. Retired, or so the Order keeps trying to tell me, but never out of commission. My hand to your cause and my sword at your side. Heavens hornets! That's quite a story, comrade. And come to think of it, one that might concern you. See, I'm here on, well, let's call it a loan from a town to the north of here. Hunter's Edge by name. There's been an attack there, comrade. Orcs. Not your run-of-the-mill savages either, but ones who've taken dark magic to new heights. What they want in Hunter's Edge, I can't say, but it's my responsibility to send them packing. Preferably with their horns in their suitcases and a knee-knocking fear of ever crossing paths with a sauce hunter again. I came south seeking the Legion's help, only to find it tied here in Cyseal. They don't have a spare soldier to send northward, and even in my finest form, I can't clear the place of that many orcs without backup. Well, comrade, I hadn't thought of it till you tapped my shoulder just now, but perhaps that's where you come in. I need a contingent I can trust if I'm to take back the town. And the way I see it, you could use reinforcements here in town. I've been scouting Cyseal for some time now, and I believe I've sussed out sufficient intel to help solve the murder of the Councillor. With our minds and swords in tandem, we'll make short work of the perpetrator. Well, you know the old expression, 2's a tea party, 3's an invasion. I know this place like the back of my hand by now, and the orcs up north will be short work for a trained-up trio of sauce hunters.
Saffrons, I dare say.
Another source hunter on the team will make us all the more formidable against this wicked magic. Welcome aboard, Medora.
That's the spirit. Listen closely now. Do you hear it? That's the sound of every orc and sorcerer in a 100-mile radius shaking in his wee boots.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that troop... Sorry, I've run out of signed handkerchiefs. An Alistair keyring, maybe. In any case, make it quick. You're not the only fan who wants some of my time.
Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information I don't have, like our noble Captain Aureus before you.
Fortune!
They say he's privy to ages and arcane secrets.
Ah, you return and humble me with your presence. Mendius, at your service. They call...
Join the sun.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea. Be the big cheese on your block for the week.
You've met your match. Well, careful now. Your head's grown more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
So many dead civilians. It's an honor to visit the fallen.
I don't have the right tool for
May
digging.
the seven keep you.
I don't have the right tool for digging.
Hey, wow! I was wondering where that awesome sweaty boot smell was coming from, and here you are. Wow! This is great! I'm Murphy, Jake's dog. Wow, you smell great! Have you been rolling around on dead things all day? That's my favourite hobby too. You know who I miss? Jake. Sometimes he'd just sit there being awesome, and I'd give him this look like, you smell great. And he'd give me this look like, you do too, Murphy. And he was my best friend. I came here so I could smell Jake again. He smelled great. But whatever's buried there doesn't smell like Jake at all. No, it's definitely not Jake. He was awesome. If I ever find out who killed Jake, the most awesome Jake who ever jaked, I'll bark so much. Seriously, so much. You have no idea.
Rest in peace, darling.
I don't have the right tool for digging.
I smell rotten lamb chops.
Peace be with you, traveller. May your lost loved ones rest in peace. I once lived a prosperous life with my husband and our happy little daughter, Loney. But when the Undead plague broke out, my dear husband was among the first killed. Loney never recovered from the loss. And when a group of mercenaries, predators, more aptly called, came to town dangling the opportunity to annihilate those undead devils, Loney lapped up their rhetoric and joined without so much as a backward glance. She was killed less than a week after she joined. Here she lies, and here I stand, mourning the death of my last joy.
I don't have the right tool for digging.
I smell rotten lamb chops.
Where's my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is. Murder within the walls, undead outside of the walls. And here we legionnaires sit, twiddling our thumbs. Feeling hot under the collar.
Well, hello there!
Source Hunter. A sight for sore eyes, if ever there was one. I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be told, the Legion could use your help as well.
Come on with the dramatic. It's not as bad as all that.
The face furious. She bit me in the face.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly'll be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
That was for you to try it, screech woman.
The beast speaks? So you've half a brain behind that feral maul, have you?
The cretin's question crossed her lips and aped an air of aptitude.
Hey, Tull, I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Various. You'll only encourage
We've been conducting a series of expeditions into Undead territory, and I'm afraid I must admit they've met with very little success. Lieutenant Selenia, at your service. I'm Captain Aureus' second-in-command, but rest assured I am a lot more kindly inclined towards source hunters than he is. Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition and even rivalry between our orders, but I, for one, have no intention of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that is exactly what your presence in Cyseal is, source hunter. A gift and a blessing. Only heroes such as yourself can make a true difference in this troubled part of the world. Such is my honest conviction. The undead. I pitied them at first. Many among them were once kind and innocent civilians of Cyseal after all. No longer do I feel that way, though. Too many of my soldiers have fallen. The dead must be put down without mercy, if we can. The bravest among my men and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east. So I suggest you head westward if you want to flex your muscles and test the waters before blindly diving to your death. I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you. It's very sweet of you that you are trying to get these men a job, but I'm afraid they're not Legion material. Sure, they can tie a knot and blow a whistle like the best of them, but even with a sword in their hands, they wouldn't stand a chance against the undead, and I don't want any more blood on my hands. If ever we want to be victorious in Cyseal, we have to track down the root of the undead uprising. Under the Pact of Volunteers, 3 expeditions were launched to do just that, but so far, none of their participants have returned. 3 landmarks were chosen for further investigation. The Lighthouse, the burial mounds, and the old church. Places fraught with danger all. There's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No man has gone there in a decade, and yet a light shines from its pinnacle every night. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not those are mere tall tales. I fear for their safety. There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place as any to start looking for necromancers, wouldn't you say? A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge on the subject may prove to be of use to them. There's a church to the northeast of here built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the Source. The Cysealians razed it and built a church for the 7 instead, supposedly to symbolize the victory of the gods over evil sorcery. All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first spotted. Hence the expedition. So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment they make it back from a mission behind enemy lines. The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my soldiers are free to volunteer, and if they are successful, they just bought themselves a boat ride home.
Greeting! Don't let that rooster escape! He's already on the menu for tonight!
Wait a minute! I don't want to see this poor chicken here slaughtered. I want him free! 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 I bet you'd make an even tastier roast than that chicken.
No, we'll do as I say.
That was close. Thanks for catching Fidgety Jack here. I guess he got nervous when I mentioned drumsticks. Let's have that bird then, shall we? Our troops are mighty hungry. Come to see what delectable dish I've crafted from that pesky poultry, have you? I'm Chef Maurice, the one and only culinary connoisseur capable to make a dish for an army with little more than a single chicken.
Greetings. These stores are for our Legion troops.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Sorry, sir. Damage? Are you joking?
That's it,
I've been
troops.
mauled.
Train
I'll
up
be
while
disfigured
you
for
can.
life.
The next
Come
orcish
on
strike
with the
could land
dramatics.
at any
As
moment.
bad as all that.
The face.
Ice blue eyes narrow beneath a heavy brow streaked with sweat and dust. Her hands tense into claws, held at the ready.
Her brow knits together, but something in her pose relaxes. She clears her throat.
I am Bear Daughter. I have not come here to find trouble with the Screech woman. She only startled me. And you are a source hunter. I have heard many tales of your order. Your history is long and honorable. This woman here, the one who now plots her revenge, she crept behind me while I was hunting, and I only defended myself. I would not hurt an innocent Screech woman on purpose. But soon their swords were upon me, and they forced me into this cage meant for dogs. Mother would rip the fur from her chest if she could see how they keep me.
Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
About face!
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
You say you will take me under your wing, but I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears? In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized. I am happy to have a friend in such a place. And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside from humankind, he thrived among his mother's ilk. So says the saga of Threes. Do you know it? The wise godwolf Amira raised the child Threes among her litter. So you see, I have good company. Threes the wolfson, and I the bear daughter. Ask freely, my friend. Your city is far more wild than Home Forest. In Home Forest, the rules are clear. In Home Forest, your strength and speed determine your fate. Here, a tiny Screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage, and one must wait for a kind stranger to grant freedom. Jarrett, wise Jarrett, taught me the bird songs of our people. If not for him, I would never have learned more than the beasts could teach me. A beast's life is to survive. A human's is to know. I am both beast and human, and so I must do both. I have learned all the bird song that Jarrett could teach. I remembered every word. These tales have brought me much pleasure. The remembering of the beasts is without lies. We know not to approach the wasp's nest because long ago one bear mother discovered its dangers. This she taught to her cubs, and those cubs taught the next. We do not remember Rito and the battle of the buzzing brutes.
We remember only what is useful to us now. Rito will be forgotten. The beauty of the story will be forgotten. But the lesson will not. It is different between beasts and humans. I am lucky to enjoy both ways. He came to me when I was small. A fierce, wild one, yet unaware of the difference between the other cubs and herself. He called to me in a soft song. At first I thought him a great bird. We each reached out to the other. We found each other. Jarrett visited me often, and in time I learned his songs and more. When he built a small cabin within Home Forest, I hunted his food and fetched his water by day while he studied his books and his magics. By night, by the fire, he'd tell me tales of the world of people. Jarrett is my master and my friend, my teacher and myself. He teaches me and I care for him. I heard this was a place of many people, so here I came. I have seen more faces here in a day than I had seen in all the days of my life together. But I have not found the face I seek. Jarrett is missing. It is my duty to find him. That mystery is thick and ugly as a swarm of hornets. It started with a great disturbance in Home Forest. A terrible disease came in the night and turned the birds and beasts soft and foul as carrion while they still lived. I watched countless of my loved ones die, rotted from the inside. When I ran to Jarrett to tell him what I had seen, his reaction was strange. He had no answer. The next morning, Jarrett did not emerge from his room. I left him be, but after 3 days I grew anxious. I broke down the door and inside his chamber was nothing. His equipment, his books, all but some scraps of parchment were gone. He was kidnapped and all his research was taken with him. The only clue I found was a letter among the scraps. I could not make out all the words, but I recognized the threat. Death, coming for you. And the signature? Attenborough. I do not know the one called Attenborough, but I know that if I am to find Jarrett, I must start there. Whoever this Attenborough may be, I believe he or she may know where Jarrett has been taken.
That was sloppier than Cysealian.
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees. It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I am glad that now I have you standing beside me. Even if one burns hot while the other wheezes cold. Perhaps in time I will come to know my own kind as you have. And perhaps then I will decide for myself whether ours is a noble kind.
Shut about this! To the barracks! Not! Recruits! That was sloppier than Cysealian stew. Again! Those folk are embarrassed at bridge close. Get to shining, recruits!
Sorry, sir.
Attention! About face! To the barracks! Not! Recruits! That was sloppier than Cysealian stew. Again! Attention! About face! To the barracks! Notch! Recruits! That was sloppier than Cysealian stew. Again! Attention! About face!
the barracks! Notch! Recruits! That was sloppier than Cysealian stew! Again! Attention! About face! To the barracks! Notch! Recruits! That was sloppier than Cysealian stew! Again! Attention! About face! It never ends around here. There's a zombie in my garden. My sheep is missing. An orc ate my baby. Night and day, day and night.
My word!
Ha! I am Stefan, your humble bard, here to serve for your
Careful, comrades. I've seen sorcerers infuse even lowly fowl with dark enchantments.
Nonsense, venerable
Quite day on the market, it seems.
Ah, hello, proportionate one. Oh, I can see from the symmetry in your face that you are a great fan of the fine arts, no?
If you could choose the finest greens!
Well, what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing? Silver? Poison? Get to the point.
Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Good day to you. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
A good day to you.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Cyseal's ever seen.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
I'm straight. I'm true. Arrows by the dozens.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Well, hello there.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Lonesome, spiritless. Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your...
Those folks are embarrassed a bridge full. Get the shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Cyseal, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs, you hear? I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Cyseal. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number. Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother, but he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop, understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition. If you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all. How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Cyseal stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Cyseal. We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably. I'd say they're looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seeing flying carpets next.
How can I help you, my friend? But certainly. What would you like to know?
Quiet! No talking to these scoundrels, criminal scum!
Those in Barry's at Bridge Pro. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private?
Sir, no, sir.
Those bunks are in Barry's at Bridge Pro. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Attention! About face! To the barracks! March! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Those boots are in Barry's at Bridge Road. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You think us funny, Private?
Sir, no, sir.
Those boots would embarrass a bridge troll. Get to signing recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private?
Sir, no, sir.
Attention! About face! Recruits! That was sloppier than Cyseal stew. Again!
You must have fought many a battle, am I right? In fact, I bet you're a...
No hair on your haloed head shall be harmed.
Legion's greetings. I have been informed about your heroics on the beach. Were that I had been there to partake in the battle. But my duties lie here, sworn as I am to protect Lady Esmeralda from the rabble that would enforce summary justice on her, even though she is, until proven guilty, wholly innocent. I am Septimus, 7th son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Cyseal from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. But never shall I lose heart. Long as a single legionnaire stands, all of us remain undefeated in the eyes of the gods. So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend. And I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. She stands accused of murder, but in my mind, her presumed guilt is a fallacy, and indeed a fabrication. Steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. And I hold no such proof exists. Jake's murder is, in a word, a tragedy. He was well loved in all of Cyseal. The Council of 7 couldn't have wished for a better ambassador. That he of all people should have braved the Undead siege for so long, only to be felled by foul sorcery, is heartrending. And what questions are those? I hold by the belief that this place is cursed. First, the Undead, who are getting more vicious by the day, mind. Then the Orcs, who don't seem to understand when a war's been lost. Something about this place seems to inspire the worst in those savages. I've fought Orcs crazed with blood liquor, withstood assaults by ogres wielding clubs made of human bones and teeth. Aye, I've braved the poisonous spear tips of goblins aplenty. But never did I know fear until I faced the Undead. Not a pleasant thing for a legionnaire to feel fear, but there you have it nonetheless.
Assure me, dear Septimus, that you haven't been fighting those awful orcs. I can't bear to imagine.
Oh, but don't you worry, lady.
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate my complete innocence in the matter?
I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same. Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. And you're no different, are you? So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh, I think I'm getting one of my headaches.
Well, what do you want to know? Before this war left us hanging like the condemned from a tree, this was the greatest city in Andervale. My own grandfather made his fortune here. Started as a poor fisherman with nothing but a few trout to his name, and grew his meagre trade into a business employing a fair piece of the local population. Of course, the company had to be liquidated as the population shrunk, and now his legacy is no more than the pole and rags he started out with.
They're nightmare incarnate, aren't they? Let a priest explain that to me. How we all supposedly become the gods' children in death, when in fact foul magic can bring us back and make us haunt our own kin in endless, mindless deviance.
Seems to be quite adamant about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth. Listen, if you're going to accuse...
Sigurd's beard, what a find!
Assure me, dear Septimus, that you haven't been fighting those awful orcs. I can't bear to imagine something would happen to you.
Oh, but don't you worry. We legionnaires are highly trained soldiers who fear neither orc nor demon.
Oh, but what if you were to be ambushed, caught unawares? Oh, catch me, for I might faint.
Only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Dancing dugongs, you nearly startled me out of my boots. Well, you've got my attention, comrade.
Ah, so that's what that did.
this have been involved in the crime?
It certainly piques one's interest, doesn't it?
carries lots of cuts of meat. She carves them up herself, you know. An expert knifer, that one. Where's Jake? Did he finally run off with that white-haired woman? What was her name? Candice? Esmeralda's a funny character. She's always got ham on the brain. I've never been inside her secret room, but I bet it's full of hams too. I'd go in and see if I were tall enough to reach the button. Say!
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
I suppose so. But seeing that I've never bothered to.
Polite, handsome, and single. Don't go anywhere tonight, Major. I'd be afraid alone in the dark.
A book about setting up the perfect crime.
Esmeralda has interesting taste in literature.
My, what a strong and handsome officer you are, Khan.
Oh, why do you compound my misery by asking me to gaze again upon your perfection? Is it because you... Oh, who's that over there? Tall as an elf, strong as an orc. But his face, it's almost classical, isn't it? Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge?
Fortune? Easily so luckless to be defeated by Alistair the Great.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend.
Hearty welcome to the King Crab Inn, and a pleasure to have you. You look like you could use a round or three, so what'll it be? Have a seat and stay a while. Psst. Mind if we keep our voices down over that sensitive subject? Death and dark magic ain't exactly great for business, you know. That room where it happened, it was rented to a certain woman, though I regret to say I can't say exactly who. This inn isn't in the business of asking many questions, if you know what I mean. She came heavily cloaked, but paid the full sum in advance. I was used to such transactions after many similar concerning a certain Esmeralda. Figured this were just more at same. I saw one other figure go into the room that night. Someone tall, built broad like a man, but shrouded the same as she. Again, standard practice for Mrs. Counsellor and her visitors. I was startled awake by a horrendous hubbub shortly after midnight. I jumped up and grabbed me grandpappy's machete, bleary-eyed and awash in fright. By the time I burst into that room, it was horribly silent. There was only Jake on the floor, dead, surrounded by what may as well have been a battlefield. Whoever done it has escaped through the window, but I saw nary a soul when I looked out. You can bet I hightailed it to the Legion barracks faster than a jackrabbit after that. Councillor Jake, that poor man. I knew too much about his affairs, you know. Never figured it my business to say anything, but after all that's happened, I wonder if that weren't a grave mistake. Esmeralda's longest-standing lover has the audacity to remain lodged at this very inn, you know. He's called the Duke of Ferrell, a high title for a low man. If you haven't yet asked him about Esmeralda, I'd recommend it. 3 hopeless sailors. Truly wish I could help you, but I'm barely keeping afloat as it is.